So I still can't get the home applicant to load, so I don't know how much it's for. That's the thing, is that's why we might need to wait until next week.
Okay.
So, do you want to just mention it and then we'll vote next week?
We'll mention it and we'll try to find it.
Thank you. I asked her to send me a new copy that's not blurry.
There were a couple messages today from Toma.
It was different.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, what he said too. It was a good fire up there
What in the
earlier.
world am I doing?
Trying to figure out the report.
Later, I'll get it right third time.
Thinking of
1 minute. Have a busy day today?
Yeah, a lot of little things, odds and ends.
Yeah, that's what mine was.
But you know, I still got a lot of them left yet. I get to point A and they say, well, you gotta go back to point B. I get there and say, no, you gotta go back to A.
Okay.
At least I'm making that.
But no, really, what'd you do?
Okay, now being 7 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Please stand, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. 6 o'clock, excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay. This evening, I'm going to start off privilege of the floor, and Pastor Mila Owen from the United Methodist Church is here to talk to us a little bit about the problem. We've actually, Mr. Mapes has been here previously and talked to us about it. And the drainage out in front of the United Methodist Church over on Chestnut Ave. So I'll turn the floor over to you. And then I'm going to let Scott jump in.
Okay. I arrived here 3.5 years ago, and the first major rain, I discovered my church came with a wading pool. In asking people about it a number of years ago, in decades, you have repaved the street between the Methodist Church and Salvation Army and have built the road up to such a point that the water has nowhere to go. And so it sits there. And we have made multiple overtures over the years about having this fixed. And I think it's time to get it done because it is a danger to the senior citizens who are in that building 5 days a week. Sunday morning and Monday through Thursday, while we have the senior nutrition program, and twice a month, the seniors with dementia and memory issues. There reaches a point in a person's life where they don't pick their feet up anymore. They shuffle. And a sidewalk full of water means they're going to shuffle around it into grass. And in the winter, it means that there's a buildup of ice every time it freezes and unfreezes. And this is dangerous. And if we could take and fix it ourselves, we would. But as I understand it, before we do anything in contracting to have that work done, you have to fix the drainage issue. A 1.5 years ago, I was told by Scott that we would be up pretty soon on getting that done. And then the whole year went by and nothing was done. And I read the agenda for the coming summer and we were not on it. So I wrote a letter to the mayor saying, why aren't we fixing this? These are people that are your parents' age, maybe your age. Do you want them to slip and fall because of ice in the winter? Do you want them to wade through water in the summer? Really? It's fixable. Put it on the agenda and get it done. It's the right thing. That's my opinion.
Okay. Scott, you wanna elaborate on what your thoughts are on that?
Well, when I talked to you before, you guys were gonna raise the 1,400 or whatever it was to do your sidewalks. And Dave came in and kinda went down a different path. So I guess that's really, at this point, we need to figure that out, because we can't do your sidewalks, because they have to be raised. So if you guys are still willing to do that, I mean, I don't see a problem getting it done, you know?
We'll get the money.
Okay. You're gonna have a couple bake sales, you said, and raise the money. And
Well, we also have a rainy day fund that can be, that's been raised for, capital funds, this project, so that could come out of that. But again, we can't do anything till you do it.
Well, it has to be done together, I told you that before.
Yeah.
We gotta do it simultaneously, whether, you know, we get another
Well, I
contract.
thought we had agreed to get it done, and then we're still, you know, I don't know what else we need to do. We'll pay our part, we just need to get it done,
We just need to schedule it in.
yes. And make sure that it does not cause water to come into the building. Because right now, that is a close danger.
There'll be no water coming into the building, that's for sure. Put a couple catch basins and take care of that, that won't be a problem.
You had mentioned the other day when we talked about putting the drain down the sidewalk underneath it like we did on Franklin.
Right, yeah, so we take that whole sidewalk out, because that's basically, you know, we can do that, it's our sidewalk, that way it'll be all brand new when we're done.
Mhm.
Put the drainage down through there out to Elizabeth Street. Yep. That would be the easiest way.
Okay, and what about on Chestnut? Because Elizabeth is only part of the problem, you've got the Chestnut. which
No,
is-
to go down Chestnut
We
to
went down
Elizabeth.
Chestnut to Elizabeth.
Okay,
And then, you know, Pete and I were talking, we gotta look at the rest of the street too, and, you know, maybe go out the other way to Main, because there's still some issues below you too.
oh yeah, I have to walk down the middle of the street if I want to go to lunch at that
I've seen
point.
it for many, many years, you know, I wasn't here to raise the road, just preaching to the choir. I fixed
you
a lot
know,
of those areas in town, and, there's a lot more to
I
go.
look like a drunk weaving between the church and Gaslight to go to lunch, trying to miss the potholes and the water. Just saying.
Yeah, I don't see a problem this year fitting into the schedule.
Actually, I've talked to Scott a little bit. The priority on that would be after the Seward Street project is done, which will be the first, that's our top priority, to get that finished. Which shouldn't take a lot, because most of it's done, it just needs to be paved and graded, and, you know, the drains put in for that as well. And then after that, the only other thing that could interrupt it would be if we had an emergency where a water line's broken or something along that line has happened.
So when do you need a check?
We just have to figure out, I gotta, like I said before, we had a couple guys look at it already.
Mhm.
So we've just gotta nail down one of those guys that can work with us, and I don't, you know.
Do we have to contact them, or will you do that?
No, I'll do that.
Okay,
I've already got two, it'd be nice to get a couple more, just so you had, you know, 4 estimates from 4 different people.
okay.
We can do that. And then as soon as the weather turns.
We'll pray for it. No promises, though.
Yeah, I'll stay out of that business.
Well, I'm done with winter. Probably not.
So I would say, roughly guessing, what do you think, June, Scott?
Well, I would hope before that.
I know, but I'm being conservative.
You're always conservative. I'll shoot for hopefully May sometime, I'd like to get it done and just get it over with.
Okay, that works for me.
Okay. Any of the board members have any concerns or anything they want to express?
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
Sounds like a plan, take care of the project, and then we'll worry about the check after it's done, figure out what we need.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're most welcome.
I know this easy, I should have wrote that letter last year.
We brought reinforcements.
Oh, yeah, I rounded up the,
Oh, the more the merrier.
thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Hopefully we won't see y'all again for any reason.
Yeah.
See, they,
There goes our audience.
Motion to vote.
Okay. That took care of that, so we're on the move. I know most of you are aware that Sunday and Monday, I was in Albany, and at the NICOM Winter Legislative Conference, which was actually a very good conference. The only thing is the afternoon, one of the classes or sessions that they had, they had changed it around to earlier and it conflicted with the one I wanted to go to, so the big one I wanted to go to. Because the big item on there is the AIM. That was a big thing. And in fact, I don't know if you saw the DNC yesterday. There's an article in there, and this may have actually been beneficial for us to squawk as much as we did, because right on the second page, Mayor's fight proposed state cut, and Cuomo reconsiders. I think he was going to reconsider all along, but that was just to get everybody's attention because of a lot of other things he wants. And actually, I'm up there in the upper right side, middle. There we go. The other big item that got a lot of attention was the legalization of adult use marijuana. On the 27th of February, and I have a conflict on that day, there's supposed to be another session up there just on that. I don't know if anybody else wants to go up there. So I think a Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So it may be beneficial. A lot of pros and cons. I see it mostly as cons. A lot of us had the same opinion when it came time for question and answers, how this would impact our employees, because as most of you are in the legal business know, when you drug test for marijuana, it stays in the system for about a month.
Pretty much for any employee.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an issue there with any employee.
Yeah. But if you got a CDL license, you're out of it, because that's a federal issue, and the federal government has not recognized the legality of.
No.
So until they change that, CDL drivers, which are most of our DPW guys, doesn't matter if they're actually intoxicated or not. If they come positive, it's that. There were a lot of questions that the state guys couldn't answer, or couldn't answer definitively, concerning how that impacts. I mean, when it's legalized, anybody can use it. Counties can opt out of the manufacture and sale of, and the growth of marijuana, hemp, whatever you want to call it. But anybody can still smoke in the county. Say Livingston County opts out, you can still smoke it. And then the question was raised, well, they're going to come up positive. Say you have a police officer, or a heavy equipment operator, whatever, drivers, ambulance, firemen.
I can't afford it.
So, what do you do in those cases? Well, technically, unless you can prove that they were incapacitated or under the influence, they can legally get away with it. So that raises the question of DREs. Who's going to pay for the training? They indicated would be the state, because the state's going to keep like 98% of the money. Put 2% aside for the counties. Not a whole lot of money when you stop and think about it. I mean, there'll be a lot of money, and that's really, I think, the issue is the money. They have made the issue that it's about, the justice issue with, particularly with lower income people, especially people of color, because they seem to have an inordinate number of them have been arrested for possession, simple possession. So, I see it as a big quagmire. It's going to raise a lot of questions that aren't going to get answered right away. And my concern, I expressed it, was the liability it puts the village in. If someone is considered not intoxicated or under the influence, we still pops positive, and we got them out there driving. You hit somebody. Where do you go from there? Well, maybe he wasn't intoxicated, but you're in a legal fight no matter what. And that's gonna cost us. So, a lot of issues. It was good, but, like a lot of other people, instead of staying Tuesday night, I got out of there and beat the storm home. Good thing. So, that's that. The other thing is the 21st is the, dinner here down at the, depot. No, the brewery for the, village associations.
The 20th.
The 20th? Yeah, okay, 20th then. Yeah, it's a Wednesday. Third Wednesday of the month. So, if you haven't got your reservations in, please do. We're the host, we should have a good turnout.
Who's,
Pardon?
who takes care of the reservation?
Give them to, Megan.
And, sorry about that.
She does everything.
Well, what did you do? I'll get settle for a buffet dinner. What type of dinner would that be?
Just let me know if you'd like to go. What it is they're calling it a Taste of Dansville because it's many of the businesses in the village of Dansville that are participating. So we have Java, Cafe Taza, we have something from Raymond's Meat Market, Tony's, Pizza King, and all of these restaurants, and there's more, and they'll all be advertised there as well. And they're, Julie Acom basically put everything together. And she's very good, so she got everything at an extreme discount so that they could participate. And then they'll advertise for them there, but they're trying to come up with things that maybe you might go and not realize that they have, like pizza places are doing pasta and things like that instead. So, and we'll have roast beef and chicken and cheese tray.
Did you decide you could charge for a guest? Is that what you?
So, yep, so if you want to bring a guest, it would
White,
be, yeah, it would be
significant
$25, and you bring that the night of. Who's the treasurer? We would put you in the right
Marcia, I think, usually takes care of it.
of who to pay.
Yeah, last
Or
time.
you could give it to me and I could pass it on. I'll be there.
Should be a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it on that, so we'll go to the department head committee reports. Legislative, I don't think anything's changed on action items because we really haven't had any new ones. Any update on the monitors for the?
No,
Okay.
I'll try for next week.
And we do have an application we need to approve on a Robbie Carpenter, 5 Clinton Street. We were originally going to vote tonight, but we don't have an amount on that. This is the same thing as the housing rehab. It's just a different department issued the money for it. And the only other item I have under legislative is the Battle Street Brewery is requesting to close Spruce Street again this year for the Dogwood Fest. Same thing as last year. So.
Same as last year.
Okay.
I would suggest we just go.
Pardon?
We do the same thing we did last year.
Yep.
They were real good working with us and everything, so we have no problem.
All right. I'll pass that word along to them too. Okay, and with that, we'll move to public safety. Trustee Zay.
I'll start with Tammy, because that was doesn't feel good.
Thank you. The report sent out yesterday, and you all have a map in front of you of the corner of currently Siler Street and Henrietta Drive. I'm requesting that the board pass a resolution to change Henrietta Drive to Siler Street so that Siler Street is extended around the corner. It would only affect the house numbers on the duplex sitting there at the corner that's been unoccupied for 4 years and will remain to be unoccupied until it's reconstructed. So it,
Want to flood it out that we spent
yes.
hours.
So there's no chance of anybody ever occupying it as it is. So we're actually not affecting anybody's house numbers, but I can go back to the 90s when that was merely my grandmother's extension of her driveway for convenience sake, and the village thought they were being very kind by paving it and naming it Henrietta Drive. She hated it, and Ben Scott put up the prettiest new street signs that I've ever seen in my life, and I love them to death. But Siler Street got put there at the corner, showing that Henrietta Drive is Siler Street. And after speaking to everybody concerned, the request is, it's no skin off anybody's nose to leave that beautiful new sign and make it Siler Street and make everybody happy, including my grandmother that's been gone for more than 12 years.
So we'll just put it down as
And then if you guys
for next week.
If you guys do the resolution on it next week, then I can change the name of that street the same time I do the other three, all in one lump sum with 911.
So the duplex that was empty right now, what would be the number for that now?
That would end up being 6 and 8 Siler Street. I've already talked to 911 about it, and they said since there is still a little street frontage there where they could put something else, they don't want to make it 2 and 4. So we would make it 6 and 8, but that building as it stands is going to have to end up being torn down and a new one built there anyway.
Right.
If they
Can
want
we
to
help
have
you?
something there.
Yes, our trustees, I guess, were supposed to be meeting, I was told by,
They've already come and gone.
okay. They told me, and I'm like, I just sit down in Rochester,
They-
fell asleep on the sofa, and like, okay.
They did a good job, though. You guys got what you wanted.
Okay, they got what they wanted?
Yep.
All right, thank you all.
You're welcome.
So, like I said, I just asked that you do the resolution. I guess you gotta do it next week. You can't do it this,
Well, we can do it anytime.
okay, and then like I said.
I don't think there's gonna, if you need, well, we'll just take care of it next week and be done with it.
Perfect, okay. If that's okay with everybody. Does anybody have any questions in regards to changing the name anyway?
Mike Bradley said something about the house.
47, my grandma's old house.
Yeah.
He wants that to be 10 Siler Street. Him and I are still discussing that because he said, well, the mailbox is on Siler Street. Yes, 1975, the postmaster came to my grandmother and said, I'm tired of going up to your house where your mailbox has been forever and ever and ever. Can you just move it out to Siler Street for me and make me happy? So the mailbox got moved to Siler Street just to convenience the post office. That little box culvert that goes from my grandmother's former house out to Siler Street, my grandfather put in with homemade sackcrete in 1958 just so it was convenient for my grandmother to build the houses on Twin Drive and Sunnyside. It's not wide enough for an ambulance or a fire truck. It will not support an ambulance and a fire truck. And right about that far off the side of the concrete is a gas line, high pressure gas line, that if your tire slips, you are going to explode. And that house was always 47 Health Street. That is the improved drive, but Mike said that the fire truck can't get down that, is same as it can't get across the culvert. I said, so do we make the owner improve the culvert so a fire truck can get to it and change it to 10 Siler Street? And that last email was Friday, and he said, I don't think we can do that. Let's talk about it some more, and I'll just notify the fire department that if we get a fire there, we're running line, because don't try going across that culvert. So we're still up in the air on if 47 Health Street will become 10 Siler Street or not. But that would be 10 Siler Street whether we change Henrietta Drive to also be Siler Street or not. So, but yeah, until I was 5 years old, the mailbox sat right next to the front door, and I remember I was there the day the postman said, Henrietta, for me, can you move it out to Siler Street? So she did, and now Mike's going, well, the mailbox is on Siler Street. Yeah, it is.
Anything else?
I don't believe so. Does anybody have anything for me?
Doesn't look like it.
Is everybody in agreement? I can feel confident that I can go ahead and start the paperwork for Siler Street?
Sure.
Yeah? And that way Scott's new sign can stay anyway, 'cause it looks really nice. I love those new blue and white signs. You can see them like, they're lit up like internally or something. They're great. So,
Okay.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the first.
I'm just writing down about Siler Street, having over and fire trucks. When I go back to my meeting, we'll bring it up with Mike and see what's going on. The first thing is the property that Tammy was talking about. I want to thank Scott's guys, Matt, and I don't know who the other gentleman was there. We were down here a long time trying to pump that basement out. We did have a pump go down and break because of it, and we had it repaired, and the lady that owns the property told us to submit the bill to her and she will pay for it. So we already paid for it and we'll get reimbursed by it.
Okay.
So that was nice, because I told her it might be a replacement job or it may be repairs. And it came back, it was fixed.
Okay.
But Scott's guys helped us out whenever we needed anything. It was a cold night. I gotta give my guys credit. We worked, we were frozen. So we were lucky with that. As in calls for January, we had 25. Mutual aid calls, a total of 5. Our response time was 6.5 minutes, and that's from dispatch to arrival on scene.
How does that measure up to previous times? Is that
This time last
I
year,
mean-
January last year was 6 minutes of, well, it was 6:46.
okay?
So 6 minutes and 46 seconds, so it was kind of close to the same.
Yeah.
2017 was the highest, we had 8.5 minute response.
Is it like averages?
Yeah. So, and it's getting harder during the day trying to find people. Everybody works out of town. We have it on a sign for new members. I have a gentleman that just put in an application. You know, and then we are dropping about 3, maybe 4 guys because they didn't get their hours in. 2 of them are new guys that never came around. So I don't know what else to do. So we're trying. We have an initiative in April that we gotta do, it's recruit. So hopefully we get some time. Last time we did it, everybody came in looking for hot dogs. They thought it was an open house. So, but it's getting tough all over the place. We're not the only ones. Going back to the calls, the length of the calls for those 25 total was 16 hours. Total of men going through and women going to the calls, there were 153. So, you know, I'm still getting a turnout. Unfortunately, it's the same people every day and we're getting burned. In the village, we had 10. North Dansville, 3. Town of Dansville, Steuben County area was 3. And then West Sparta was like a total of 4. And then we went up to Osham for 3 and 1 in Groveland. In Canasteraga, we had a house fire we went to. EMS calls, this includes like lift assist and MVCs, they call them now. 7.
What's the C stand for?
It's a collision or, crash or collision or something. It came up in our chief's meeting, they didn't want to call it MVAs anymore for motor vehicle accident because you don't know if it was an accident or what causes something, if I'm not mistaken, right, Norm?
Yeah, it's been a push forever.
Well, we're all saying the same thing on the radio still, so even dispatch.
On the lift assist, is that, what truck do you usually take there for?
Well, sometimes personal guys just take their cars up there.
Yeah.
If not, we take 519. That's the old rescue.
Yeah.
We take it up there because we can get more on that. Because I'd rather take, especially if it's up in Osham for
Something
lift
with
assist.
a crew cab
I'd rather-
kind of thing, yeah.
Well, I'd rather leave 515, our main truck, and 514 back in the village if we're going up to Osham, in case we get a call, and take 519 up. This way, if we need the Stokes, ropes, or anything like that, we have it on here.
Yep.
That was something I came up with and decided, yeah, it's not a bad idea to do. And we haven't had any problems with the ambulance, you know. We may get maybe 1, 2, 3 members that show up. I showed up the other day on, is it Washington Street? Yeah, I showed up to get a hand doing that on my way home. So, about the new truck coming in, we have a new sales rep for the region. The committee is looking, and Greg said, to meet with that guy sometime this month to go over things. The truck has gone into fabrication for the bill, so they're starting to work on it. And Greg said the first visit to the plant, I think it's in South Dakota, looks like the end of March, and Roosevelt pays for that, the first trip. Okay, so that's where we are with that. I can't think of too much anything else. We have our nominations going on now, and they close this month for chief, assistant chief, and captains and lieutenants. So
Are you rotating down there, is that it?
that's how it's always been.
Yeah, but I mean, the same people I'm starting to see.
Yeah, and you may see same people again when I mention who's going to be chief, who's going to be assistant chiefs.
Yeah.
Uh,
I had heard the other day there was an issue having qualified chiefs.
Yes, there's qualifications that you have to have, and there's only about 5 of us that actually have the qualifications that was willing to go to school for it. The state's asking a lot. You gotta have hazmat command, you gotta have officer 1, you have to have live burn, you have to have all different things. And trying to get even the older gentlemen that wanna be chief, yeah, they got the experience. But it's coming back to now, you go to a scene, everybody's got a cell phone, and you go to court, you better have the knowledge or the background. You know, I'm not the smartest light bulb in the package, never said I was, but, you know, you gotta have certain knowledge or they won't even recognize you as a chief. So it's getting tough, and right now, the same people are running back and forth. And same thing with lieutenants and captains.
How long do you think you can sustain that, the same people rotating and taking on those positions that are, you know, require a lot of time
And we're gonna try and do it as long as we can. As long as everybody wants to do it, we'll do it. And if the department don't have any problems, or the village don't have a problem with the people that's running, then we'll just keep on going with what we can do.
No, I'm just concerned as you're down the road, you're all aging.
Oh, I know, I told you at the cancer rectifier, I can go up the next one, I couldn't move.
You're gonna run out of people sooner or later.
And the average age we have is now 45, 50 and above. We've got a couple young guys, but it's like, say it's the young guys come, and I don't know, Skip can vouch for it over at the ambulance, they don't wanna do the training.
Right.
And that's the problem we're having. Well, what is it in for me? What all of us old guys have the, you know, what are we doing for the community? Now the young guys is, what do you have for us?
I think a lot of it is the regulations.
The regulations.
I would be more than happy to go back and drive truck, but I have to do all my training all over again.
Yeah.
I'm a 36-year member of the fire department. I don't want to go through that training.
And it's tough.
I don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
You know, the essentials, when we took them, they don't even recognize that no more.
It was 39 hours when I took it.
Yeah, now it's up to 160 something, or 200 hours.
Yeah.
So.
Chuck Burke. You guys remember that name?
Yep. So all the essentials, everything we, you know, taken, you know, I've been lucky between my job and working for State Fire doing the instructor part for the county. I've got certification, so I've been lucky that way. But, you know, it's who wants to do it, that's what it comes down to.
How many members do you have, active members there?
We had 40, I think about 45 we had last year we ended with. Ended with 45. So we went from 2012 was 60, 2018 was 45. And that's gonna drop a little bit now because people didn't get their hours and stuff. Yeah, it's hard. You know, I got a responsibility for the guys on the scene, and I also have a responsibility because if something happens and somebody does have a training in something and we crash a truck, they want to see the records, what driver training you have, what experience you have. And if the people don't have the training, I know I've gotten a couple people mad at me because I had to drop them because they didn't have their hours. But it comes back on me and then on the village if something happens.
When you say their hours of training or their hours actually participating?
No, in the hours of training, we request that you have 8 hours of training a year for the department, in-house or outside. If you're outside training, it's 4 hours we accept, and then 4 inside. But that 4 hours outside has to be something related to fire. Something, you know. If a person from the ambulance company takes it and a membership, and they come to us with CPR, well, that's usually 3 hours or 4 hours. We'll take that because you need that. We've had people come to seminars for their jobs, but it has nothing to do with fire department.
Yeah.
But we also want the members to come to the truck house. You got to know the trucks. You got to know where everything is, the equipment. If you're interior, you got to have another 8 hours. of interior firefighting, which is a fit test, physical, couple hours in a burn room, things like that. And that's changed now too. With NFPA, we still go down to training tower, but NFPA says you have to have instructor 2 now to do a live burn. I got instructor 1. I'm not gonna go back to the academy and get recertified as instructor 2. So it's hard. I don't think they're making it any easier.
Overregulated by the state.
So, but I'm hoping, we get some young blood and we screen them. They go for a background check. They get checked for arson and checked for child abuse, I think it is.
Sex offender?
Yeah, sex offender, that's what that's Yeah, so, and then we get stuff back and we gotta go, and then it comes up to the membership. And we check with other departments. We've had a couple of members that came from the department and they left other departments. We call them up and ask them, did you have problems? Do you recommend? And they'll say no for certain reasons. Unfortunately. But it's a big rotate. And I guess we'll do what we can until we can't do it anymore. I think we're going to be okay for a while. I got a lot of guys that's dedicated and getting up. You may not hear, like today, I guess we had a standby up in Sparta. It took a while for a couple guys to get out there. But when you need somebody, we had calls back and forth yesterday with the snow and everything. And, it was myself and 2 other guys, and then we had a truck accident. Was there with a jackknife truck calling for a rollover on exit 4. So I left the scene, another guy left the scene, and then all of a sudden I had people coming out of woodwork. So it depends on the call city. They hear it's just a little fender bender, it's nothing major. And I'm also a believer that on weather like that, if I get to the scene and I just see somebody hit the guardrail or something and there's no need for them to go off the road, I'm not going to put a truck on the road. I can't afford that getting damaged. That's why a lot of times you'll hear, if you got a scam, you'll hear me saying, holding quarters when we get a smoke detector or a CO detector. There's no need for somebody coming out there if it's a bad battery or something like that, or we know what the problem is. If there's any questions or anything? Thanks.
When you have those, another good reason not to send a truck, or you only got 45 active firemen that can do so. You don't want to be down to 43 because they did something, because they were on the side of an accident that didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
And somebody comes down through on a slippery road and
Take them out.
we see a lot of that stuff. You do, we all do, we're on the road all the time,
Had one on TV last night, boy, I just missed a woman.
That's the thing you gotta look at too, because you're putting people out there for a senseless accident and
and this times I would just tell them to stay in the truck house. If I need you, come on out.
Yeah.
And not to respond, emergency response.
Sure.
But, trustee's right, especially on days like yesterday. 515 was coming down 390, I've had what I had, and as soon as I got out of the ambulance, I looked over and the tow truck already had the car up. I said, turn around and go back. And they asked for traffic. I go, nope, we're clear and get out of here. Go back in before anything happens.
You think maybe somewhere here in the future, we could get together with the ambulance and fire and do some sort of a membership push?
To try.
Make it a combined effort between the two and see if
I'm
we
open
can
for
advertise and try to get some people to do it. Like I said, I would come back. I just don't have that kind of thing. Training again.
You gotta get 16 hours back again and
Right.
go back. Pete, I got applications if you want one. So.
Take a 71-year-old?
Sure, I got an 80-year-old, Dick Gillett. Dick Gillett, he comes and does.
how healthy you are, Pete. He shows up a lot.
He shows up, Dick Gillett shows up a lot, he'll do anything for you.
Yeah.
So,
You could probably work circles around these kids.
yeah, you probably could, because you're not gonna be sitting there
Never
with
know.
your phone in your hand. But we also have the support with the surrounding communities too.
Yeah.
We have automatic mutual aid. If we get a structure fire, Sparta automatically comes down and they're in our hall.
Monday came today.
Monday came today. So, and one hand washer, when they have something, they call us.
Mhm.
We have it set up, and Woody was dispatching, we had it set up for first alarm, certain trucks come. When it hits second alarm, the trucks that are at the truck house go to the scene, and truck comes down from Whalen and Perk, and then Sparta comes in, West Sparta comes in and fills. So, we're covering them, we're getting the turnout, it just takes a while sometimes. And a lot of them don't work in the village no more, in the town. A lot of us travel. I work in the city or I'm out someplace else all over the place.
That's the problem. Just be could depend on local employers to let people go to fight fires.
Fort Hill
ambulance.
used to be like that all the time.
Yeah.
But you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
I know Forbes still does it because we had a couple guys down here, but I also told the guys, don't abuse it.
Yep.
I had guys coming for a carbon monoxide detector. We didn't need you. We need you for the car accidents or the structure fires. Don't burn your bridge. So, you'll find out. I'll let you guys know. I think next month we'll know who's definitely going to be running for everything.
Okay.
That's it.
Good report.
Thank you. Off to the next one. See you.
Alright.
See you later.
Well, as you know, Floyd couldn't make it tonight, so filling in.
Timekeeper down at the ball game.
He wanted to get so, for the month of January, we have a total of 119 calls. 7 in the town of West Sparta, or village of Cancerega was 2, village of Dansville was 78, Mount Morris 1, which brings that total to 116. Runs generated were 129, 129 requests for service, and we dropped 3 calls for the month of January. In those 3 drops, that can be for a second call for the second ambulance, or we just couldn't put together a crew. We've had a lot of back-to-back calls. We've been hammered really hard. We've done very well. We've got some good people coming. They're in the middle of training right now, so we're going to keep our percentage. We're hoping right where we are. Coverage rate of 97%. Out of that many calls, that's pretty darn good. Total calls year to date is 122. Location of calls, 1 in the town of Burns, 4 in Groveland, 5 in North Dansville, 7 in Austin, and 11 in Sparta. We've gone to Highland 3 times, 72 times to Noise, and 5 to Strong. So I thought that was pretty good for the month of January, especially with vacations and people around. So we've had some applications come through, so we've got some people coming in. So
How many EMTs do you have?
I don't know the accurate count right now. We've got some that
Ballpark?
are certified. Oh gosh, I'm gonna guess 30.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got 2 in EMT class right now. 3 just finished up last year, so they're all cleared and certified. Floyd's ready to pull the trigger on one of them. Tom Pearson's daughter. Her and her partner are going to be a good 2-person crew. So.
Okay. Good.
Ambulances are doing well. Everything's been fine with that.
But one thing, I talked with Floyd yesterday, and Stummy couldn't make it, but he'll be here next week, because he wants to talk about the discussion he had with Karen Doer on Friday about the ALS payments and everything. And that looks pretty good. The cost will stay the same, but they're willing to go, you know, if we don't get paid, they won't get paid. Now, I think that was our big concern. So it looks like we've made some headway there.
Great. As far as I know,
But he'll give you a little more detail on that when
Yeah, hopefully on that. And I understand the cost of it too. We've got a number that we go by. What does it cost when that rig goes out the door?
Well, they had one of their rigs slide off the road yesterday.
Yeah, I guess that didn't go well. She was not happy about that, so.
She's a little stressed out right now. Yeah, East Haven,
I haven't-
That was on the news.
Yeah.
It didn't tell her till right
This
at,
morning or
right
last
when it
night on
happened.
TV, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
So they've taken over more area and
I guess that's it for the report, unless you guys got any questions on our end of it.
Mhm.
Everything seems to be going well and trying to keep up with all the calls.
Good job, all of you are doing. I didn't say it to Glenn, but everybody's doing a good job.
Well, I think
I know a lot of communities are having trouble.
we have that advantage here because we are active. There's lots of calls. If you don't get a lot of calls, people get stale. They don't want to come around.
Uh-huh.
And the training on the EMS side, other than being an EMT, is a lot different than the fire department. As far as me being a driver, I don't have to do nowhere near what I did for the fire department.
Yeah.
I missed the fire department. I can't do all that. I just can't.
Yeah.
Not after this many years. So. Business and that type of
Yep,
thing.
business.
So.
Age.
Age, yeah, that ain't helping. So.
Families.
Yeah, that's growing. More grandkids coming.
Cleanly, his phone's good now.
Oh, I bet he did.
Little
He's
bit
my
of-
next door neighbor, so I'll go take it back. So I guess that's it on my end. Unless you got anything
Thank
else.
you.
All right, well, thanks.
See you later.
Yeah, see ya.
Charlie?
I don't have a lot on my list. You already spoke about Battle Street, closing off the street.
Yeah.
So, that was one thing. Other than that, the cars are in, so I'm just waiting for a call back from the equipment installer to see when they can start the process. I talked to them today, but they didn't call me back to let me know anything new, so I don't know anything more on that. They did show up on Monday. And then Sheena Schaefer applied for a part-time position, so I'm gonna work through her, kind of update her background. Don't know if the board would want to talk to her like you have in the past.
Well, probably, and we did it with Mucha, so we probably should do it with her as well.
That's right. So if you did, I would suggest Tuesday.
Any objections to that?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Time would work.
Oh, why don't we just have her come in here at 7 and we'll work it in right after that. Shouldn't take too long.
Other than that, the cold snap helped a little bit on business, knocked it down a little bit.
What was that, chief?
The cold snap
Oh, yeah.
knocked down business a little bit. It's still active. There was plenty to do, but that helped a little bit. It was looking pretty ugly for January, but that put it back, leveled it out a little bit. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot.
Okay.
Got some sex offender arrests we made that are all coming up for trials before hearing the next election. One succeeded the other day. Found guilty, so the other two were on the schedule to be dealt with the county court judges. We had 3 stolen cars this year so far, and one got taken last Friday. I don't know how he managed, good for us, I don't know how he managed to wreck it, but he wrecked it by parking it on top of the destroyed Dogwood day treatment sign down by the school. Down on Main Street, 311 Main Street. So that hung him up, and he got spinning his wheels and woke up the neighbors, and they saw a guy head out on Circle Drive. So Catherine was able to, I don't think she saw him, but in essence she herded him back through the backyards of between Circle and Main Street, and he ran out in front of the sheriff's deputy. They came by to help her. So he got grabbed up, and he didn't know nothing about nothing. He's on parole currently for the same. This is now his 8th stolen car arrest. We charged him 2 years ago with the same thing, and he's on parole now. And
Sure his prints aren't on the car, are they?
Good at it.
no, but there's enough other things that are on the, we got enough other evidence, and
Yeah.
and it kind of explains why one of the stolen cars ended up in Syracuse, because that's where he's from originally. So
Oh.
we'll see what we can put all together with it, but so that worked out good. That was another good grab. We've had quite a few good situations in the last 12 months. It's just too bad that for us to have a good day, the community has to have a bad day.
Yeah.
You just steal them just to get someplace?
That's what it looks like.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. So I should put an end to that.
Is he in jail?
He was on Friday, I don't know if he still is or not.
Yeah,
Should
one.
be, because Pearl put a warrant on him. They actually faxed us the warrant that morning, we took it down there, so I'm sure he's not going
So he had
anywhere.
one taken from Bellinger's gravel pit that went off the road in spring water
Oh, really?
this morning.
Oh, this morning, oh. No, he
So-
should be, between our charges and, the Pearl warrant, he should still go. Yeah, he'll be disappointed if otherwise. Mental health arrest, keeping us hustling, I think, I don't know the report that you got, I'm not sure what I put in there for January, I think we had, if we printed it out, I don't have it. It seems like we've got to have 14 mental health transports so far this year, which is a little higher. A little high to start out the year with. I think we had like 78 for all of last year, which was almost twice what we had from the year before. And at this pace, I don't know if we'll double this year, but we'll definitely do it and half again at this rate. And that's, every time you go to Warsaw or Strong, you're looking at a 3-hour hang up. Like last Monday, we had 2 back to back. Brian Chapman was in Warsaw with one person when we had another one. And the second person was required, it was a 2-officer issue on the second one. So we had 3 officers involved in 2 mental health arrests, and everybody went to Warsaw, and they had to time it so one car was on its way back and the other car was leaving, so that you can kind of pass close by the village here, not leave the village hanging without a car. So I think we've had 2 more in the last 2 days.
So they transferred from hospital to a mental hospital?
Yeah, some are Noise Mental Health, down where the old GCC building was.
Yeah.
Some are residential, where we make the decision. Some are Livingston County Mental Health. And then some are the county local mental health. So some we make the determination on ourselves, and others come with paperwork.
Okay. I just wanted to ask one question.
Go ahead.
Is it police responsibility to move them?
Yeah,
And is,
yeah. We were working out where,
can't use like a medical, what am I trying to say?
medical transport.
Yeah, transport.
No, and we were working with the ambulance company to do some of the what appeared to be non-violent ones, if you will. They would do the transports, and as time went by, I started having a question about that, and coincidentally, the ambulance company started to have a question about it, and at the same time, almost to the same day, Shannon Grease with the ambulance and myself with the police department came to the same conclusion that it's probably not great to use the ambulance. So just do it, let the police do it. You have the person that starts out here maybe calm and cool, and then falls apart halfway on the ride, and you got a big mess.
You always go with 2 officers?
No, more often not one, but the one woman, Monday, she's 71, she's not a physical threat to us per se, but she was making a lot of accusations, so you want to make sure you have a witness.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the
How comes down-
ambulance people really aren't geared to handle.
How comes on the legal part of it?
Yeah, there's too much of a risk of litigation these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
unfortunately.
I was just wondering,
No.
because you haven't answered my question, the medical transport was, whether they would be they had liability to do that, to move them, you know?
They will if they're injured or something.
Yeah.
Like if they're injured or if they're on OD and then pills or something.
Right.
They'll
Then that
take
comes
them,
up.
but you'll follow them usually.
And so,
Yeah,
you
try to
still
get
gotta have
away with it.
somebody follow.
So you guys on my will.
If you have an injury or overdose, then we go right to noise with them, which is nice on the transport side, because the transport side's slow. I mean, it's not slow, it's quick,
Right.
versus driving to Warsaw or Strong. But then typically, they don't settle down real fast over there, so even though you're not doing the driving, you're doing the standing or the securing or the strapping down or what have you at the hospital.
And our new rehab's not set up for that, that's not what that's for, right?
No.
That's
No, it's drug and alcohol.
Yeah.
It's for people who voluntarily will, or are court ordered to go. Mhm.
So, busy, plenty business, plenty. That's all I have, unless someone else has something else. I'm working down through the rest of the village issues that you brought up the other day. the parking and so on and so forth, running through that.
Good. All right, did we get anything from the justice courts? Because I don't have it on the files.
Refresh it, because I put them on probably about 4:30.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. And,
Oh, I know what I was gonna add. Payroll wise, the question came up about, if it comes up about payroll and part-time and, picking up Catherine and hopefully picking up Sheena. Ann right now is off the payroll.
mhm.
So there's no payroll expenditure there. And Shannon will be off the payroll here in another 7 days. So financially, there's no
Just
issue.
flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, well, moving along to budget, finance, and audit, and trustee Rittenhouse has got more important things to be doing right now, supporting the local team and his daughter. I take it the financial reports are done, are they on there too?
Yes, I have
Okay.
loaded those. I haven't taken a look at them, but it's unlikely we'll do budget modifications again until next
Oh,
month.
that was my next question. So we're looking at another month yet. Okay, any change on Freed Maxit? Have we heard anything back from them yet?
No, I know that they were, because everything ran behind anyways, they were gonna focus on their towns for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll reach back out again soon. And
Seems like a long time. When did they start? I thought they started early this year.
they came out for their first site visit, or probably earlier, when it
Yeah.
should have been.
It just seems like it's dragging on.
But I think we held things up too. I don't think it was just them.
Okay.
I think, because, I'd have to look at the calendar for sure, but I think with the transition, with just taking the new position, with not having a deputy clerk, and then training, I kind of think our office also held things up.
All right.
Kind of went hand in hand.
Slowed it down. You won't say
Yeah,
followed it up. Slowed it down.
Slowed it down. So we will get it, we'll check on it again.
Okay.
But that's what happened, because all the towns' years ended,
Mhm.
because they're on the calendar year.
Okay. Alrighty. Public Works, water and sewer.
Well, I think we just.
Hand it over to Scott, huh?
Yep, hand that one over to Scott this time.
Matt McCarthy called me from the village of Wayland on that camera,
Uh-huh.
and they're thinking like 30% they would like to contribute.
For the camera.
Right, so,
Mhm.
I mean, if we bought a camera that's $75,000, they're gonna be, what, 22,000 or whatever would be their share. I just wonder if it would be farther ahead for us just to own it
And rent it?
and rent it to them for a set fee. They're like, when I bring the other company in, they're $3,000 a day, $3,100 a day, but you get a camera and a jetter. And when you guys see the report that Aaron Bissell hopefully will have to us by the next meeting, not Tuesday, but the following meeting, we're pretty much gonna have to buy a camera.
Said 30%?
30% they were ready to do, So, I'll just throw that out there for now, and you guys can
Think about it.
think about that. Don't need to know.
75, that's probably with the trailer and everything.
That's what that one camera was, we got to get back into that again, but, somewhere in that neighborhood. And it wouldn't take long to pay for it, especially the way our system is, the I&I is really bad, and we're really gonna have to start addressing that.
You talked with them today?
I talked to Greg today, hopefully they'll have those reports to us soon.
Okay.
And then he's said that you talked to him about a meeting for the.
On Friday? Yeah.
And then the other issue I have with water is up at the Perkinsville wells, we have the well house pump number 2 that sits way out back. There's a swat through there that's getting really bad and we can't get out there. We have to try to pick days that it's frozen or in the dead of the summer when it's dry. So I asked Greg, what it would cost to get You want to put that in your phone, maybe?
Yep.
This is another. This is really kind of ridiculous, but if you look at the cost, what it costs just to get a permit, a job I could do in a couple days, but I don't want to put the village in jeopardy by not getting a permit. I don't see why we really have to, there's already a road there, we just need to basically build it up again. But it's getting bad, last time I went out through there with my pickup was we're trying to rebuild that pump out back, and it's getting bad.
So we gotta pay $8,200
Yeah.
just to get a permit?
Just to get a permit. Now, I'm not saying there's not another company out there that might do cheaper, because this is the only quote I, received so far. But yeah, isn't that something to do, probably do, I don't know, probably around $8,000 worth, it probably wouldn't even cost
What
that.
I don't even understand, what's the DEC's charge? Isn't that where you gotta get it from?
Yeah, but you gotta do all this legwork to get the permit, that they run, this is just, this permit, to get this would be just like getting any other permit, you gotta jump through all the hoops.
It's ridiculous.
I agree. You guys-
Especially when there's a road
you guys
already.
wanna go ahead and do it, and we take our chances?
No, don't
Find
do
me.
that.
No,
Gotta do it the right way,
No,
but
I know.
there's gotta be,
It is sad,
I just don't understand why, if the road's already there,
I know.
as long as we don't go over it, you just wanna build it up, right?
But you're filling in a wetlands. That's the problem.
You need it fixed so you can get back to the pump.
Yeah.
When that's only like this this time of year, but
Let's
The only
see,
time we could get in there.
during the summertime, you probably get in there pretty good.
There's only a few times when it gets dry enough to get through there, but it's getting to the point now where, you go through there and the mud just, oozes right up, it's just getting,
is there somebody else besides us out there?
I don't know, but I can check.
Let's check it, I'm not, yeah, let's check it.
And then I would, I'd like to set it up to do out of next year's budget, because this year's budget's pretty well shot,
Mhm.
water, so. Something to look at.
Yep.
I'll see about getting.
So what are you looking to do to build up the road, to be able to get back there where it's located?
Yeah, it's just low. If you drive up through and look out through, you'll see actually standing water. You
Yeah.
have to drive through.
But you're building up the existing road.
Yeah, but you still gotta get a permit.
Even though it's existing, you're just building it up.
Anytime you put anything into a wetlands, you gotta have a permit.
Even though it's pre-existing.
I mean, I would call it maintenance, but.
So would I.
What actually, the permit itself, okay, you need to apply for the permit, correct?
Which would take,
Well,
well,
I
if you
don't
read
know.
it here, it takes like
Maintenance of it.
4 or 5 months just to get a permit.
Just to get a permit.
Yeah.
So that $8,200, does that buy you the application and the permit?
Yeah, get you everything, get you the
Get you
job.
everything.
Get you so you can go in and work, do the job.
One time.
4 or 5 months to get the permit and
Have you
a few
talked,
days to do the job.
have you talked to DEC yourself?
It's not DEC, well, no, I have not talked to him, but I know enough about wetlands that you don't mess with wetlands.
Well, I just,
That you need a permit. I mean, it's end of story, it's, I mean, yeah, yes, I can reach out to him and see, I can talk to
let's just
somebody.
try it, see what happens, The most they're gonna tell us, we gotta go through this process.
Yeah, and I know they will, but I'll
Yeah,
do due diligence and
it
call.
just seems ridiculous that we have to go through all of this. I mean, I can understand that some communities, they, I don't know.
It is.
It is,
It actually favors them too, if they need to get in there, DEC need to get in there or something like that.
Is there another way into that,
No.
also else's property?
It's all we own is just that little, it's all swamp
Yep.
around it.
Because say you prefer.
Marrow beds.
You prefer to pay somebody
Yep.
else money to let you drive on their property.
No, unfortunately, there's no way out through there. Actually, this year, all the poles that were out through there, they all fell over. I think it was in March, we had a bad storm, brought all that down. So, we've gotta get it fixed, and it's hard to get out there.
What would you estimate the cost of the actual job?
I bet it wouldn't be much over, if we did it ourselves, just the materials, maybe 5,000 or something.
Yeah, 8,200 to
I know.
Yeah.
To get a
apply
permit
and
to spend,
get
I
the
know.
permit and, okay. I'll go along with what Pete said, I think it's worthwhile just to
Oh, yeah,
have a
absolutely.
conversation with DEC and I don't know whom else is out there that could take you through the process, but, yeah, I know, it's the way it is.
If we gotta do it and you gotta go through a whole process, then we should be, I guess it's under the bidding limit, isn't it?
For the 8,200?
Yeah, I know, getting three
Well,
bidders,
because
two bidders.
it's a professional through MRB, so we don't have to bid it, but
Yeah.
I would still wanna get maybe another bid from somebody.
Yeah.
Just to have it, you know, I hate to just take the first one and go with it, it's a lot of money,
Yeah,
$8,200.
for the amount of work that's gonna be done, it's a lot of money.
Okay.
Other than that, it's the same old, same old.
Everything taken care of over at the Girl Scout house?
Yep, actually, I'm gonna let Dave borrow my threader, and we went over today, he's gonna pipe some new gas over, so that'll be it, and that other furnace is running.
Okay.
I mean, it hasn't been running in quite a while.
Yeah, we had some flooding last week at the Brookside house, because someone had closed the door on the bathroom, and it didn't have a separate heater in there. They used the one out in the open, in the general area, and they closed it, so that was right during the cold snap, and lo and behold, it froze up and burst. The girls went in there, I forgot what night it was, because they called me.
Apparently it didn't flood too long, they must have caught it quick, because,
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't really do any damage, it didn't get out into the other part, so it
Yeah.
couldn't have ran too long.
Was
This
it
is what,
last
just-
week, when
Yeah,
you had a couple of leaks last week?
yeah, there's
One
been
down
One-
in Miller's?
quite a few, actually.
One each Friday, the last 2 Fridays.
Well, those were mains, but he's talking houses.
Oh, houses,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we've had,
We had some figures on
Four,
that,
I think,
only
so far
lost
this year.
water usage on it, probably.
yeah, our usage is way up. A lot of lost water in the last 3-4 weeks.
Said one of the houses was one of his brand new houses down there.
But I didn't hear the details, Matt didn't tell me, like, if somebody was in Florida or what happened, if it's a house just setting, I don't know. If somebody actually lived there, he didn't say. Bobby Lewis called him and said they had it under control, but it flooded the whole house bad.
Where was this?
Mark Miller's.
Oh.
One of them houses
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah,
Probably the furnace went out, that was the end of it.
Now I know basements underneath them.
yeah, just crawl space, it's basically a trailer is all they are.
When it's zero, it doesn't take long.
No.
It freezes in a hurry.
Where was the other one? You had another one too last week, right?
Well, we had a water main breakdown in Forbes.
Forbes, that's where it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The week before that was down in
And the
College.
Forbes one got done real quickly.
Well, that was a lot of walk.
Yeah. Hey, whatever you can get.
Yeah, they had a little tougher the week before. They had a lot of
Yeah, oh,
houses.
I know they did.
They couldn't even get the excavator started. They
You know,
threw that for, I guess, a couple hours.
I went down there that night and took them some coffee, but.
And that was greatly appreciated. They mentioned that.
Good job.
I didn't stay long though. That was
It was
cold.
cold last
That was
Friday.
cold.
Wasn't it cold last Friday down there?
Yeah, it was. Well, you're out there in that wind.
Wow, that was cold down there. Man.
I figured if you were here, you would've gotten them some coffee and stuff, so I said, well, Scott's off goofing off, so I guess I better take some down to him. They started, what, early afternoon before they, it was, what, 9, 10 that night before they finished. They're out there doing a good job.
Yeah, it's hard work when it's that cold.
Mhm.
Nothing works right.
How'd they find that? One down in the airport, or Forbes.
I just kept driving around and, actually I went down through there that morning and they drove right by it.
Yeah.
And it finally, I think 'cause the ground just gets so
Okay,
frozen, it takes a while for that to eat up.
Bubble
through the
up.
Frost, and then come out 'cause it can just go underground.
Yeah.
But, that was a good break. It actually looked like the whole pipe went like that. It cracked it. It was really roaring out of there. But,
Boy, it just makes you stop and think,
They earn their money around here.
what else we got broke around this village, you know?
There's a lot.
Just makes you think when you just find two like that, you know, and
but you get that this time of year, that cold water going into those warm mains and it just heaves and wish there was a way we could warm the water up a little before it goes in the ground.
The cost would be worth it.
Would be, not dead going to fix it. Yeah.
Okay, anything else on, streets and, or not on streets, but on water and sewer?
No, I think we're in pretty good shape. The boys, I think both the boys have signed up for their test. Doug
And Chris.
Yep, so they'll both be, yep.
Now, Chris is going to school when?
Yeah. He's
When?
going, what, next week. He's got 2 different classes to go to.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, he'll be in and out. And,
You got Woody down there?
Pardon?
You got Woody helping out?
Yeah, Woody's been out for a week. He's had the flu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's sicker than a dog. But yeah, Woody's working out pretty good down there. I hope he doesn't get too comfortable, 'cause I really don't want Woody down there. But no, Woody's good. He's a very good worker. Woody's good.
Okay.
So,
When is his seasonal time up?
oh, what is it? Probably April-ish, May-ish, right in there. Yeah, we'll have an issue probably then.
All right.
But maybe somebody would retire before then. Who knows? You never know.
Aren't too many left to retire. I think Eddie?
Cross that bridge when we get there.
I think Eddie's about the only one in that.
Well, you got Eddie, Bob, and Randy will be the next
Yeah.
guys to go. And Randy's still out. I haven't really heard anything from Randy.
I'm guessing Randy will probably be the next one to go.
Probably. Yeah, I don't know. He hasn't said anything.
Okay. How's the salt going?
Good. I do have 5 loads over to the state building.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed us to put that in, so that makes it nice. And this year I've been keeping it down to the sewer plant, which isn't the greatest setup, but it's dry, it's nice, it's so much better. But we get into budget time, we still have to talk about the sewer plant and getting something down there. Like, so Charlie can wash a car and we can wash the trucks, and we could have a bay to put salt in. But it's so much better, and not having it out on the street garage, that's bad.
Have we had a lot of accidents because of the weather?
I was gonna bring it up, Scott and I talked about it earlier, but, you know, we've talked the last, 4 years now, probably, about just taking into practicality of how the village is set up. And I'll just go through my speech here, because some people haven't heard it, and it's on the recording. And Scott, and I told Scott that if anybody complained, I'd back him up on it, because we've had this conversation, that your longest distance in the village of getting to a state route is maybe like 4 or 5 football fields away. If you can't drive 15 or 20 miles an hour for the length of 4 or 5 football fields, you should have started a lot earlier. You know, that's your own fault. And, you know, talking about the jokes about MVA versus MVC, there really is no such thing as a motor vehicle accident. There's always a cause to it, and 99% of it is, and even in weather conditions, the accident cause is people's mishandling of their vehicle, driving too fast. So, you know, those of us who have been up here, hearing my speech in the past, you know, for the last 4 years probably or so, we've talked about the fact that it's beneficial for the pocketbooks, the taxpayer, to spend less money putting down salt. It's less wear and tear on the trucks, it's less dollars spent on manpower, and it's less dollars spent on salt. And, you know, Scott's been trying to do that, and we were talking about it this morning. He's been doing a good job with it, and, you know, the officers help out, try to give them a heads up in the middle of the night if there's a need, and, you know, there's no reason for the streets to be bare. And we have not seen any tick up in car accidents whatsoever because of it. None whatsoever. If anything, I gotta look at the numbers, I almost tend to think they're less than they used to be. Because I think people go out and they realize, there's some snow on the road, I gotta be careful.
Oh, you better slow down, there's
Right,
snow on the road.
absolutely. Versus looking at the road and saying it's dry, driving foolishly, and then hitting a bad spot and getting in an accident.
Hitting the right spot, especially an intersection.
So you know, my take on it is, people might look out and say, well, how come our road isn't as clear as the state highway is? Well, it doesn't need to be. And we shouldn't be making and killing ourselves over doing it. And we're all saving money because of it, and there's no increase in danger because of it. So I think we're on the right track.
No, I have no problem with that. That's usually what I tell people when there's no need for it.
No need for it. We're saving money, we're not polluting the streams with putting
More salt than's needed.
around, you know,
Yeah.
So I think so far, things are the right direction.
Okay. Okay, how about streets? That would be your bailiwick. You want to ask him to tell you about streets?
Scott.
We're good.
So,
We got a lot of streets that are in rough repair. We're going to be busy this spring, that's for sure.
Yes.
We're taking a beating again this year.
I would-
the Main Street's in bad shape too, so it's not just the village.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad streets around.
Every intersection I think in downtown is in lousy shape. if you don't fly over it because there's such a hump there, you're gonna probably ruin your axle in some of those holes.
One down there in West Liberty, where we had the big break down there, yeah.
That's a mess, dude.
Mhm.
I found, I don't know if you put something in there temporary, just to keep it from, you could dip right in there where,
On West Liberty?
Yeah.
I think boys can throw some millions in there. They probably plow them out when they.
Yeah, probably.
That was supposed to be paid last year, Mike, unfortunately, it was done.
Well, thanks to that Seward Street, or thanks to the state, however you wanna look
at
at
least
it.
we had a place to park that excavator all winter.
Yeah, it makes a nice roadblock.
You can't miss it.
The day that news, I know the project's done.
Let's hope it starts.
I thought about that the other day.
Yeah.
Well, once in a while.
Now, I saw a wagon coming out of there one day, but I said, there's no way a wagon could have come up through there. They had to have gone down and turned around, because even that crossover area you've got, that's not wide enough for one of these Amish wagons.
Mm-hmm.
You must have gone down and just turned around.
I thought they could sneak up through.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe they drove over the fence, I don't know.
No, I walked down through there later and it was fine.
Tooth and wheels.
The horse could have gone through on his own, but he wouldn't go take that wagon with him.
On 256 this morning, I mean, I felt sorry for them, but it doesn't take much to throw salt up on, you know, and they're coming down through and I'm going up through with the truck and trailer, you know, and I slowed down enough, it didn't make a difference, it was enough, they got them.
Can tell you feel bad.
Well, I did, I just said, what are you gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
They're probably heading down to Tops, go shopping or something.
Tough time of the year to be out in a horse and buggy.
No, you're not kidding there.
Yeah, okay. Anybody got any questions of Scott? Okay, it's just on Friday, we're gonna sit down with Greg, Megan will be there, and Scott and myself, to discuss the capital project program that we are supposed to be doing for the comptroller that we got for $500, so let's see how that works out. And it's gotta be, yeah, $500 seems about the right price to me, no matter what they do. There was something else along that line too. Oh, I did send another email to John. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna have to go over there and find out, because I haven't gotten an answer back. That's the third email I've sent him about the agreements that we have with the people outside the village for water service. I'm trying to update those, and I sent them, I should say Megan actually sent them over, you know, electronic versions for them to take a look at, to see, to make sure that they're up to date, that they're current, that the language is right and all that good stuff, and don't have to change them. And hey, that was what, last fall.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that in quite a while.
So I haven't seen anything come back, and I want to say maybe December I sent something to them, and I sent something last month, and I still haven't. It's been a few weeks since that, and so I sent them another one today, and I still haven't heard a thing. I know Scott's got a couple of leases over there, or I should say easements, that need to get done, and we haven't heard anything on those. So I don't know what's going on.
I think that conversation came up because the village would go, whether it was out, if there was a break or something that had to be fixed out there, outside the village would fix it, you know.
Mhm.
That's how the conversation came up, because isn't that, Scott, pretty much you guys fix all the, even though it's outside the village?
We just need some agreements to make sure
Yeah.
everything's legal, that's all. Kind of in a gray area.
There are different agreements for different areas. That's the problem. But for the
Woodsville, doesn't it?
it gets complicated. You got to look at every one. Woodsville's is a water district, so that's okay. Exit 4 is a water district. That's okay. All the others are individual agreements. So it's between us and the owner, and has nothing to do with the town.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there's some language in there about who does maintenance on the lines and all of that stuff, and I know the town doesn't want to be doing that. You know, Jimmy got a little upset because of the guys are down there fixing that leak, and nobody bothered to tell them. Well, the world didn't come to an end, but most of the work was off to the side anyway, but still.
Yeah, something.
Probably for safety purposes, we should have told them, but it didn't get done, so I think Scott's ironed that out with them.
Yep.
No big deal there. Okay, what else we got here? If there's nothing more from Scott, we'll move on to Parks and Rec. The Clara Barton Monument Project is still on tap. In fact, they're having their meeting on the 21st of this, or 27th of this month. Excuse me, which is 2 weeks. So that's good. That we don't need to worry about. Codification heard any more from general code? Okay. And under technology, I'm still playing games with the on-sell up there about our walking tour. It's better, but it's still not the way I was hoping it would work. You've got to push a lot of buttons to get things to work right. It's easy enough for me to do, but if you forget one little step and messes it up, at least it isn't. You can end up with having the wrong recording playing for the particular site you're at if you're not careful. So I got to work that out with them. Otherwise, I think that's about it. Anybody have any unfinished business or new business they want to bring up tonight?
Nope.
Okay, if there is none, I would ask for a motion to go into executive session for a couple of issues. One is for the disciplinary matter, and the other is for employee work history.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion from trustee Zay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from trustee Nagel. Any discussion? Not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Don't hear any. Motion passes. Okay, there may be a decision of some kind afterwards, but other than that, I appreciate your attendance.
Happy to be here.
I was talking to Charlie and Megan and Scott. He's hiding over there in the corner.
Anytime.
All right, see you in the morning.
Close the door when you go out, please.
Okie
See you in the
dokie.
morning.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Thanks.